Hi guys, in this video I would like to share my experience as a first time TCG player. I'm going to take you from finding a local store to using the Bandai TCG Plus app for the One Piece game and signing up and operating it during the matches in the local store tournament, just interacting with people at the store, and talk about some of my matches, what happened, the pros and the cons of each match. Let's just start with finding a local store that you like. So the first thing I did was Google Map stores that are between my home and my work, and then look at the schedule and times that they hold the local store tournaments, and consider how much it costs to attend on the Bandai TCG Plus app for each store, and just go to the store and get to know people or know the owners. Look at what products they got that you like. Look at how much they have. I ended up finding my local store because it's close to my home. It has good hours that I can realistically attend, like once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. The price for attending the event is usually $7. I've seen other stores charge $10, and the pricing for participating is usually just one booster pack and a tournament pack, which contains random alt art for that season. For pricing of the number one winner of that tournament, it's usually like three packs, three booster packs instead of one, and they don't have that many people coming in every week for that local tournament. I would say enough to play like 3 or 4 rounds. That would be like 8 to 10 players every week. The store owner, I got to know him, and he's a pretty cool guy. He has a employee and sometimes a temp over there working, and what caught my eye at the store were the variety of Japanese sleeves that he has from a variety of anime. Once in a while I'll see him get new cards in. He has a binder of One Piece cards, and most stores that I've seen throughout my search of local TCG stores is that they don't have that much product in their One Piece binder. So that tells me that it's pretty scarce out there. This store sells a variety of TCG also: Lorcana, Magic, Dragon Ball Z, Union Arena, and Pokemon. The owner of the store is really good with attending community events and selling products at MSRP. That's really important because I buy One Piece stuff at the One Piece store at MSRP, and I want to do the same here and support this store. Recently, they stocked up on Manamoon products, and I bought the free run deck box. And that deck box looks really good. Check it out online. After I bought it, I totally became a fan of the products that they sell. I've been in a local tournament like 3 times at this store so far, and it's okay. It's so casual that you can just ask somebody if you can switch to a different deck to play against them. Maybe if you're bored of the current deck you're trying out, or it's not doing well for you. So very casual. I really like that setting. Everybody's very friendly. In this first local tournament, when I got in, I was nervous and excited. I was nervous because I wasn't used to just shuffling, picking up cards, making sure I'm doing the right thing, making sure they're doing the right thing. As a beginner, I would just make sure that I do my part right and play my deck the way it should be played to make the best decisions that I can, and let the other player know that you're just a new player and you gotta take your time. Sometimes I forget to use the leader ability, or I use the leader ability without ramping a card, a Don. Um, just have to, go slow and get used to the sequence of the moves. Um, and just tell them that you're new. I was I was always the last guy to finish every round because I took just a long time to make my moves, whether it was, drawing a card, making sure I drew just the top card instead of, two cards at a time or something like that. And making sure, you know, I drew the card for taking a life, and making sure I say I had a trigger or no trigger. And I didn't bring my dice, but get used to bring your own dice and using the dice to label, the cost of the cards, if you're cost minusing, just for all the status effects, minusing health. So that was mainly the reason why I'm nervous, but I'm also excited. I was also excited just because I wanted to play and learn to play in real life. So when applying for the tournament, to apply in that Bandai TCG Plus app, and then when you're in it, you get matched up with somebody, and I think they assign a table number. So you go to that table number and you start playing. And after playing a match, you would update the app. You can see who won and who you're going to be matched up with next after everybody's finished reporting the wins and losses. So I'm going to post that here, and just to show you some screenshots of how it looks and the history of my matchup for that round, for that tournament. So the first match I played a person that played this leader called Marco, and he minuses life to remove your characters. And at the time I was playing a limb deck that would play a big character like turn 3 or 4, and he would just remove it right away. I played him a couple times out of the 3 times I went to that local store tournament. So Marco is generally a hard matchup for my Lim, but this new regional deck that just came out has more Sakazuki in there, and Sakazuki has board removal, so they'll play. So you have a chance of removing his characters while placing your characters on the board, and you'll get the upper hand if you can do that almost every turn. So the next match I played was against Smoker from OP10. He had a carrot character that freezes a rested character on play or when attacking. And I mainly lost because I couldn't get that character off the board. So he kept on using the effects to freeze my character, so I couldn't do anything. The third round, I played a person who was kind of new to in real life TCG. She sounded like she played at home with her boyfriend, and she didn't know what my deck did. The first two people did, and it seemed like she had a bad draw on her end, and she just didn't know the matchup. So I think I won that pretty easily. And winning that first match made me so happy. I was totally prepared for the next match. Then my fourth match is in this video, my final round. Um, he played purple black Luffy, and then he said he just wanted to play some off meta leader, and I was like, oh, I don't know what this leader does at all. Never even played him in the sim, maybe one time. And then he just didn't remove my Sabo card the whole time for some reason. Maybe he didn't have the cards to do it. And my Sabo always gets restanded, so he's never in a rested state to give him a chance to remove it. And that Sabo card, each time you attack, you can draw a card. So that's really powerful in this game. Every time you attack, draw a card. So you could draw a card to play something better or use it to counter an attack. And in the end, I was able to beat him because of that, having that Sabo card attack like every turn, so I could draw every turn. After playing the first time, I was shot. My brain was shot. Like I just took a major exam. I was like, super exhausted at the end mentally. Just thinking of every move and um, just calculating every every match that I had and every move that I had, and um, and I think over time we'll just get faster. So just have to play more in real life. On the sim, I can see it right in front of me, and every decision can be made a lot quicker. This guy that I played, he was very knowledgeable, and he brought a bag full of decks and cards, and I was like, "Whoa, you got a lot of stuff." And I told him I was going to build a Reiju deck, and I knew some of the cards I was missing. I just asked him if he had any, and I would have just paid for it because the cards were cheap. They're like 15, less than $1. They're like 50 cents or less, and he just pulled them out and gave it to me, and I haven't seen him since. He was just there on a whim to check out the locals in this area, and he came from the city of Chicago, so he was kind of out of the way. In the end, you just pick up your prizing and you go home. But you want to stick around as a new player to get to know the people at the locals. Over time, just get to know the people at the locals because you don't know who likes to do what. There might be a person that just likes to teach and you can play with and test with. There might be a person who's a pro who can just give you the tips that you need on boosting up your deck building and playing a little bit better. There could be a guy that's like a whale who buys tons of cards and just opens bunches of boosters and just has a whole bunch laying around that can give away or trade with you or you could buy from. Buying from people is a whole different topic that I think I'm going to create a separate video for. And definitely, if you're new to the TCG scene and trying to get cards for your deck, should watch it. I'll make it in the future. There could be people who just wants to become a judge and make sure you're playing correctly, and they're just practicing to be a judge in tournaments. Or there could be people that are just donating bulk to the store, and they could be donating to you if you're missing cards for your deck. This store in particular, they have a place where you could put a bunch of bulk in the back of the shop, and I've searched through it a little bit. You could search through bulk for hours. Pretty much, I found some OP5 and below, like OP5 to OP01 cards that I'm missing, and I took some of them and just kept it for my own collection because I like to have a setup for everything. I actually saw some rares, like foiled rares and Occasionally, I found SR from there, and sometimes it's just takes times because some cards are mixed up with like Pokemon, Final Fantasy, Magic the Gathering cards, Dragon Ball Z cards. Well, I hope you liked my video of my first experience with One Piece TCG. I'm definitely going to cover a lot more topics surrounding One Piece TCG and my general experience. I hope it will be entertaining and use my experience as their own so they don't make the mistakes I have and get them ahead in terms of starting out in the TCG world as a new player. And hopefully, you'll see me grow over the years as a better player and more involved with TCG community. All I can ask from you guys is to like and subscribe, turn on notifications, and tune in for more content that I'm going to create. I'll eventually go live, do some unboxing, or play on the simulator, and maybe even do giveaways. I gotta support the community because I've been on a lot of other people's channels and they do the same. And a lot of them are pretty new content creators in the One Piece TCG world, and it seems like they kind of all know each other. Some are up and coming, and I would like to be one of those up and coming guys too. So keep in touch.